Cayman is in the process of preparing its submission to the UK Parliamentary Committee inquiry on the future of the UK Overseas Territories relationship. It's an inquiry prompted by the dispute between the UK and its territories, including Cayman, over the imposition of beneficial ownership registries here. Joining me to discuss this is former Financial Services Minister and new CIMA Chairman, Wayne Panton. Let's start with that latter part of that introduction to begin with. First of all, congratulations on the appointment. What exactly, as a CIMA Chair, what do you do? What are your responsibilities?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
Happy to join you, Kevin. Yeah, the CIMA board role for me is one that I'm certainly happy to perform. As chairman, I'm not in an executive position. I'd like to make that clear. I think there's sometimes some confusion that, that I'm a part of the executive of CIMA. As a board member, I'm not. I'm just the chair of the board.
Right.
And we deal with deciding on policy issues and overseeing the implementation through the executive management of CIMA.
What are some of the, what are some of the things that you feel like you need to address, or that CIMA and its board needs to address? Any challenges upcoming? Anything that you guys say, yeah, we need to make a policy or set a policy about this?
Well, I haven't had a chance to really get my feet completely wet.
Sure.
We haven't had a board meeting yet. The first board meeting, I should say, is sort of mid-next month. So, I've had some meetings with some of the CIMA management, and obviously I've had some input from some of the industry sector representatives. So I think, it's important for us to ensure that CIMA continues to perform the role it has been. It has four principal functions. It's monetary, that's dealing with the currency and managing the currency reserves. It is regulatory, obviously. That is ensuring that there's proper regulation of the financial services industry. There is advisory, which is advising government on policy, which is relevant to CIMA. And then there's cooperation, which is cooperating with other agencies, both national and international agencies around the world, to help the financial system to be stable and protect the interests of consumers. So it's about continuing and building on the great work that has been done so far. I'm taking over from a good chairman who I think did a good job, and we'll be advancing those issues. And I want to make sure that the work that CIMA has been doing is understood. I want to make sure that consumers understand exactly what the benefits are of that work and what CIMA's role is in respect of that. And also I want to make sure that we continue to promote and advance the interests of the financial services industry, which is critical to Cayman, and which I remain very, very optimistic about, by the way.
And that kind of leads me into the other part of the introduction, which we're going to touch on, the call for a public beneficial ownership registry here in Cayman. Let me start with this. As the former Financial Services Minister, what was your first reaction when you heard this news?
I suppose it wouldn't be any surprise to say dismay.
Yeah.
Slight pun there, but
right.
We had an agreement with, in fact, I shouldn't just say we, I mean all of the overseas territories and Crown dependencies had an agreement with the UK in respect of the exchange of notes and the technical protocol that had been done, where we would have this register of beneficial ownership information, but it would only be shared by law enforcement authorities primarily.
Upon their request.
And not public.
Right.
And I think that, talking to all the various stakeholders, because I think we were very much leading the way on this issue, and in talking to the National Crime Agency and the Serious Fraud Office in the UK, they were very happy. And I think at the time the government reached a point that they were very satisfied and happy about that. Unfortunately, when politics comes into the mix, we had a situation develop where we effectively, became the sort of sacrificial lamb. I don't blame the UK government in respect to that. I think they were dealing with very difficult circumstances. But it is nevertheless very, very unfortunate and very, very unfair, particularly those folks who have been pushing this particular agenda without any understanding or knowledge of the true workings of the Cayman Islands as a international financial center.
If you were the Financial Services Minister today, what would you be doing right now to...
Oh, don't trap me into that. I don't want to be stepping on any toes.
Sure.
But let me just say that I think based on, I have had very little contact with them in respect of this particular issue. I suppose if I thought that anything was going wrong, I would. But I'm very confident that what has been done so far seems to be the right approach. The positions articulated by the Premier, I think, are correct. I think his tenor and his determination are appropriately reflected for the circumstances. So I'm confident that that they're taking the right approach and going to do the right thing in respect to this issue, and that it does require a great deal of determination. But I think at the end of the day, I think Cayman is going to be fine. I think as I said earlier, I'm very optimistic about the continued growth and development of the financial services industry. That's not to say that we're not going to have issues down the road. Obviously, global economics play a large part in our success, and we have had and we will continue to have fluctuations which have impacts on us.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that I'm in a positive perspective in respect of this, and I think the position taken by the government is right in terms of pursuing legal action if and when it gets to the point where they try to enforce a public register. But I think 2 years is a long time.
Yep. That can happen.
Anything can happen. They say in politics, a week is a long time.
Right.
So who knows? I think, things may change entirely, but I think I'm confident right now where we're going.
Mr. Panton, thank you so much for your insight. We really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care.
All the best. Thank you.
All right. Don't go anywhere. We've got more news coming up right after this break.